Okay, go ahead.
What's the question again?
How does it feel being a person of color on a university campus? Or, like, being in your university?
Sometimes I feel like there's like hundreds of years of history that are like all collaborating to erase me. Um, and I mean, especially I started out in geography and like international relations, so there was like plenty of mention of people who weren't white, but there was never a centering of that as like let's talk about race. And so I don't know, I still feel like there's this kind of like often have to fight to find my space, and especially being mixed race and not having an identity that like can be easily understood in an academic framework. I feel like one of the biggest battles is still asking what place theory and like academic spaces have in understanding myself. Yeah, and I think like for me it's like school. I think what we're taught, like one of the first things in a lot of classes is you never use I in essays, right? And so this is kind of like removing of self and removing of like emotions and like any sort of kind of like subjectivity, and that I find it's really easy if you're a white person and coming from a certain place where you can just kind of go along with this history. But for me, emotions are like very central to like the way I understand school, and so I found that to be a challenge as well. So
Cool.
I like it. I've been to several campuses, and especially University of Toronto Scarborough, York, University of Toronto Mississauga, there's a lot of like diversity. I see a lot of people of color walking around. Like, it's amazing. When I'm in a lecture or a classroom, it's totally different. I take English. I major in English, and a lot of the discussion centers
Two
around
English majors.
Eurocentric Western literature, and whenever we do study people of color, it's kind of like through this white lens and as the other, and that always annoys me because a lot of messed up stuff comes up in discussions around that, and I've never been really sure how to address that, especially within like the university. It is a system that kind of silences a lot of these voices.